Like most people, I have shelter, I have water to drink, food to eat. I also have a house to live in, blankets, everything that we take granted for. Unfortunately, in Mexico, the poverty levels are out of control. It's really sad situation, and Mexican poverty is a real thing and it's happening. So basically, I picked Mexican poverty to talk about today because I don't feel like a lot of people understand the seriousness of it and understand the. I just wanted to show awareness of the situation because it's a very very serious thing, and a lot of people don't know about it. The history of poverty of Mexico. Mexico, in terms of poverty, is a structural problem according to critical sociology. The neoliberal model of the 1980s was a model used by the formal government of the Mexican agenda to try and address some of the poverty issues that were going on in the country. This model did more harm than good for the people. It was more of a dictatorship, trying to control all the structural aspects of the country rather than help out the citizens. So basically, all of these people thought that they would have a chance for survival and for help, but it ended up being a dictatorship where one ruler made them didn't help them at all. They didn't, give them anywhere to live or anything to drink or anything anywhere to eat. They just didn't care what happened to them. In the past and now present, even more ongoing issues included poor infrastructure, lack of education, unemployment was at a rise. Currently, what's going on in Mexico is poor infrastructure, which does not give enough leeway to building better communities and helping out towns and developments. People have been establishing themselves in rural areas without government permission and thus not paying taxes, and the government is not willing to help out. Around half the population lives in poverty. About 10% of people live in extreme poverty, quoted from the Borgen Project by Ella Candy on August 8, 2015. This is very serious, and a lot of people don't understand that these people suffer all the time. It's a really sad situation, and we need, because the community is so, it's so big and overpopulated. They can't do education or find jobs or anything of that sort because there's so many of them and so many that are suffering. The government was not help the growing population of schools, and because of this country is getting uncommitted, teachers are not enough teachers at all. Only about 0.7% of Mexican students pass the advanced math level as of 2016, and many students do not fall in the right level of their academic skills and abilities. About 9 million of the country is illiterate, and at least one member of the household do not have any of these skills at all. Very few, and if any, jobs available to the population due to ratio of jobs and people and resources. The poverty part of the country is so densely populated that there are not enough jobs available to let any worth having. And that goes to what I was saying to before, is that because there's so many Mexicans, and because of the whole situation, they can't find jobs. It's hard to find jobs when there's so much poverty going on. You can only give so many jobs to so many people, and it's sickening, really. Lack of jobs have caused standard living among the middle class and become a place of unfortunate living, which hurts families, children, and the population throughout the whole country. But luckily, a lot of people do care about the situation, and because of that, there's nonprofit organizations that really help a lot of people. There's things called VAMOS, Children International, the Flying Samaritans, and Project Amigo, where everybody comes together and they try to save money to give everybody they try to group money together to help these people out, which is a really great cause. So the review of the information given to you today was that we talked about the history of poverty in Mexico, currently what's happening in poverty in Mexico, the helpful nonprofit organizations, and hopefully awareness has been raised about the conditions and issues. Is there any questions that anybody would like to ask? Yeah.
How do you personally feel about poverty in Mexico and the conditions going on there currently?
Personally, it makes me really sad. It makes me really sad that a group of people are suffering, and I just feel like as humans, we should try to come up with something to help these people. I mean, we're all people at the end of the day. It's not their fault that this happened to them, and we should all help one another. It's just the right thing to do. Is there any other question?
Is there a way that I can get involved as an American citizen for poverty, like by the borderlines?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. You could, with all the nonprofits that I listed, like Vamos and the Samarians Amigos, you just have to, go online, look it up, and they provide things like shelter and food and water and, blankets and pillows, the whole entire thing. So it's really a really good cause. I personally want to do something to help them, so I think everybody should. Yeah.
Do you think that with these efforts, do you see it in more of a positive light in the future, especially with what's going on now?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think that's why it's so important that I talked about it today, because it highlighted the key points of what was going on. So, so now hopefully people will look into the situation and care. You know what I mean? And does anybody else have any other questions? All right. This was my fashion. Hope everybody liked it. Thank you so much. I hope everyone learned something from this today. How long was it?